Hello, my friends. How are you doing? It has been a wild couple of weeks. I missed posting an episode last week because I pushed them up on Wednesdays, and the Sunday before, on February 27th, my father-in-law passed away. And, we could tell that he was not doing well, but things just happened very, very quickly and progressed fast. And so the last week has been a lot of planning and services and reflection, and I keep thinking I have like 3 episodes in my mind brewing based on our experiences. And how can I give you information so that you have what you need? I think today I will focus on that week leading up to his passing. We, as family members, had honed in on and were focused on providing him comfort with a medical procedure, a minor medical procedure, and everybody was in agreement because he's on hospice and in assisted living that it would be a good idea to give this thing a try. It was kind of our Hail Mary option. And when I went to pick him up to take him that day, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to work. Like, clearly he wasn't doing that well. Getting around was a challenge, and I thought the idea of getting him out of the building and to a doctor's office and into the room, like all of that just seemed near impossible, especially because while he would have benefited from using a walker, he was reluctant to use one. And we were definitely moving into new territory in this moment. And he agreed to use the wheelchair just for ease because getting around was kind of a struggle for him. So we went and did the procedure, and it just took a lot out of him. And I think it's good. I think it was good that we went that route, and it made sense, and everybody was on board, and he was willing to try it. But it clearly was a challenge, just literally the logistics of getting over to the doctor's office, in and out of cars, all that stuff. So we did the procedure on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday he was comfortable enough, and I had a bunch of work to do, so I didn't have a chance to go over and see him. And so when I went Thursday, it was like, dink, he was back up and running. And like it felt like it was a month ago. I mean, he hadn't eaten in several days. He just wasn't feeling that. So when I went on Thursday, he had eaten a full lunch. He was puttering around in the apartment, sort of using the walker, not really. He just really rallied up and was doing really well on Thursday. And Friday, back to like complaining about normal things again. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. Because I thought we were in trouble earlier in the week. And Friday, similar thing, just puttering around, definitely increased confusion, some kind of agitation around the procedure stuff, and it was weird. We were in the middle of a conversation, and he just like literally stopped talking for just a minute, like mid-sentence, and he picked up in conversation, but not where we had left off, like moments later. But it was like I was looking at him, and it was like a switch had just flipped, and his brain just powered down, and he gazed, like stopped speaking mid-sentence, and he gazed off. And I was like, oh, that's really not good. I don't know what's happening. And we definitely had the staff like super involved, and we had the hospice team involved as well. And our goal was really focused on, again, just getting him comfortable, because our Hail Mary procedure on Tuesday, by Friday, we were like, maybe it actually wasn't as successful as we had hoped. And he had a rough night Friday night. He had a rough night and was pretty uncomfortable and up and down quite a bit. And Saturday morning, we were able to get the hospice nurse out. I mean, not able to get. We had someone out in the middle of the night, Friday night, and she came out again on Saturday. And she said, we need to get him comfortable. Really what he was actually experiencing was terminal delirium, which I did not realize. I guess I had forgotten that was a thing. So we were able to get him settled down and super comfortable, and I was completely blown away, so impressed by the staff at the assisted living, by the staff, the team with hospice. Everybody really adored him and just wanted to make sure that he was well cared for. And then they took care of us too, which was great because it felt really confusing. I'm going to be honest with you. It felt like confusing that this is where we were at. We couldn't quite tell that he was passing away because he had been up and mobile and communicating the day before. So we just had not wrapped our heads around that we were in a position where we were looking at end of life. And as someone who has previously worked in senior living, I had this cognitive dissonance where the family member brain, my daughter brain, was we just need to get him comfortable and we're working to solve a problem, was kind of where I was coming from as a family member. And then once I was able to step out of the space and come back to it, I was like, oh, as a team member in a building, I recognized he's dying, he's passing away. And that was really emotional for me and hard for me because I felt like I wasn't hearing that language, because in our buildings, we would notify the team, someone is actively passing, the family is here, let's, make sure they have what they need and take care of them. And, all those things were happening for us. But, I don't know, man. It felt really confusing and weird to be going through it from a family perspective because we hadn't done that in a long time. And we hired someone to come and just be with him from 7 o'clock that night to midnight just to make sure that he was still resting comfortably and the team at the assisted living didn't need anything additional from us or, I don't know. We were pretty worn out from having been there all day Saturday, and it just felt like a blessing to be able to entrust him and the situation to someone. And everything was happening on point and going well. And then 3:30, we got a call from the hospice nurse saying he is actually actively passing. And then at 4:30, they went in to give him some medication, and he was gone. So we went over on Sunday just to see him and begin the process of the goodbyes. So it's been really hard. And I remember my chaplain in my building. I was so lucky to work for a company that had a chaplain on staff. And Chappie Tom would say, you can't pre-grieve. 3 years ago when we got the diagnosis, I remember just being devastated, so sad. I mean, I was hearing what the doctors were saying. I was hearing the prognosis. And in my mind, my brain wanted to take me all the way straight to grief. And he said, you think you're protecting yourself by pre-grieving, and when the day comes, it's just going to be sad, and you're just going to feel grief. And he was right. So I share with you, I guess just to offer a couple of things. One is when I went over that Saturday morning, like I just knew I wanted to be there all day, and I packed my computer and work and snacks and a protein shake and lunch, and I took all that stuff over with me, and I spent most of the time gazing out the window. I ate a little bit, but I wasn't that hungry, but at least I had some healthy options on deck. So if I did get hungry, I could eat something. And then there was a period of time during the day where my husband stepped away for a little bit to go home and do some stuff with the kids, and then we vice versa, and he came back and I went home, and then we were there together for quite a while. And during that time, I did a meditation, and I walked my dogs. It was a nice enough day, so I got some sunshine on my face, some fresh air, and walked my dogs. And that was really helpful, and the meditation was super helpful. So I guess my takeaways for you are, honor your instincts is one. Throughout that week, off and on, I kept thinking, I think something bigger is happening here. Tuesday after the procedure, we went ahead and ordered the hospital bed from hospice, which, in hindsight was on point, but I just thought it was time to get the hospital bed, and it turned out it was. So honored my intuition, packed up stuff that I thought would comfort me or help me or take care of me on Saturday, and then did some things that did take care of me and comfort me during that challenging time. And just another overwhelming sense of gratitude that I had the opportunity to be there for that with him and support him and love him and reassure him. He kept having that sensation of needing to get out of bed, that urge to stand up and get out of bed, and we were able to reassure him that everything was going as it should. Everything was fine, and the nurse had just checked on him, and that was very reassuring to him. You could tell that he was able to relax in that moment. And he was sawing logs. He was asleep through his many last final hours, and that was such a blessing. Yeah, so like I said, it's been kind of wild. I have a lot more thoughts on a couple other subjects that will be future episodes, the whole planning the service, all of that. There were just some things hadn't occurred to me, so I will share that with you in a future episode. But I love you, and I see you, and I hope you're doing well, and you are doing a great job. You are doing a great job. And we are going to be on this roller coaster of grief for some time, I imagine. But I'm here for you, and you can reach out to me anytime. Connect with me on Facebook if you want. You can message me. Okay. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.